Well, good evening, everyone. Hope you guys are having a wonderful week or start of the week. It's been quite busy on my end, but we're surviving. We are survivors, right? So I know there's a lot to do tonight, so let's get started right away. Let's see who's here. Hello, Suzanne Taylor. She's here. Kim Burris is here. Hey, Kim. Jackie DBD Stitch Art is here. And Kim Burris is saying we're supposed to have really cold weather after next Wednesday, but this week is in the 80s. Wow. Isn't it fall? Isn't it supposed to be getting cooler? Well, at least it's not 110. I actually turned the furnace on today. Ooh. That was Suzanne Taylor saying that. Donna Hoskins is here. Hey, Donna. And guess who? Nancy is here. Hello, Nancy. She's reminding everybody, don't forget to thumbs up. Thank you for that reminder. And Barb McKinley is here. Hello, Barb. And Donna Hoskins is also here. So, okay, we already got people looking at the question for tonight, and I shall talk about that later on. There you are. Good to see you. Yes, I'm here. And Susan Pinnell. Hello, Susan. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so a few announcements before I forget, and I will probably say this as a reminder at the end of this because I know there's people that are going to come in late. A few things. Let's see. What's the first announcement? Well, for those of you who have been joining the Zoom call, the monthly Zoom call, the next one is this Saturday at 10. That'll be Saturday the 12th. We usually start at 12 p.m. Pacific time, and we go to at least about 4 p.m. Sometimes we go for longer, just depends on how many people we get coming in and out, and if everybody's just, whatever we're working on. So, yeah. So, again, Zoom this Saturday, that's Saturday the 12th, starting at 12 noon. And I will be sending out a reminder for those that signed up for it. Now, if you're interested in joining the Zoom, you can send me an email at treasureheartcreations@gmail.com, and I can send you all the meeting information for that. So, yeah. Okay. On the second announcement if you've been following this, the latest addition to Sobecca's 2024 traveling quilt has been posted. It's Russ from Quilt Meets World, and I gotta say his roll was pretty nice. He did blocks that reflected him, so and that was pretty much the objective in this collaboration. Each creator was to do something that represented them. So Russ created a few star blocks. He did a friendship. I know he did a friendship star, and I can't remember what the others were. But check it out. If you type in, oh, do I have it on there? Sorry. What is the command? If you type in !Sobecca, and it'll take you to Sobecca's channel, in which she has a playlist of all the videos that has been posted. Let me do that. I hope it works. It should work. So anyway, next month is my turn. So I'm the second to the last one, in which you shall be surprised as to what I do. All right. So tonight's project, we're gonna do block number 59. I I didn't do, this was the block that I was supposed to do last weekend, but I didn't have all the paper pieces printed out. So tonight we're going to be doing this block. Sorry, I know the camera's out of focus. Hopefully that's a little better. This is called Night and Day. And because of the weird angles of these blocks, I opted to actually print all the templates. And we're going to use the templates to cut out our fabric pieces here. But, you know, this block, I think there is a paper piece pattern for this block as well. So it could work either way. But one thing I must reiterate this, and this block is actually a very perfect example of this. Again, this booklet is not a pattern booklet or not your usual pattern booklet. So it doesn't come with instructions in terms of how to construct this particular block. You can download the templates, you can print out the templates, but other than that, it's up to you to kind of figure out how all the pieces fit together. There is, as far as I know, there's no written instructions as to what piece goes where. And so this is where experience in quilting kind of kicks in, because you have to just kind of take a look at this block and figure out what the layout is. So I went ahead and printed all the templates out, and just by looking at this picture here, I had to kind of figure out where each template fits in. And I think I got it. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm just going to roll with it. And if it doesn't come out right, well then, if you're making this quilt, and I know some of you guys are following along, just know that, well, don't make the same mistake that I am. So again, there really wasn't any written set of instructions, so I just basically had to kind of play around with the pieces to try and figure out what makes that square, or what is the closest I can get it to what this picture looks like here. So yeah. Hey Mona, glad you made it here. Hi Sandy. Okay. And Barb McKinley says, this one looks like a real challenge. We shall see, Barb. I think the challenge to this particular block is actually just cutting out the individual pieces. You know what? Let me have this book nearby. So the fabrics I chose, I went ahead and I'm kind of copying the book's example. I mean, I am going to use this black, and I want to pair it up with this gray fabric here. Now, the gray fabric does have a right and a wrong side, believe it or not. But it's like, the difference is so subtle that you really can't tell. So I'm just gonna, I mean, if I cut it backwards, who cares? I'm gonna use it anyway. And that will be a design choice. So with the black, isn't this grunge black fabric kind of awesome? This was a scrap that someone gave me. And I love this. So the black is gonna be, let's see, they got the black here. So I'm gonna take this piece and this triangle, which is this guy. And we also got that one slanted bar, which is that piece there. Now, I'm going to attempt to cut 4 pieces at a time, because I'm going to need 4 pieces each for every quadrant. Okay, so then the rest of these belong to that guy there. Okay, now before we cut it though, here's what I am going to do. I should See, I already forgot how this is laid out. It's like this. Wait, no. This is like that. So this goes like, hold on. This goes like this. No. Oh, see? I got this. This is on that side. And this is the one that's here. And this is the one that is here. That goes like that. No. Wait, this goes like that. This goes like that. And this is the one that is there. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just use my phone, and I am going to take a picture of just this so that I can remember what piece goes where. Oh, no, not the selfie camera. We want that. Because as you just saw, I just got my own self mixed up. Okay, did it save? Yep, that looks pretty good. Okay. So the white was this one, and this one. And the blacks were these pieces. Now, if we have one of those washable glue sticks, now is a good time to actually get that out and use it. I unfortunately do not have one. So I am just going to have to pin each one of these down. And I will do my best to not go over the rotary cutter with the pin. On something like this small, well, let me do this one first because this is a little longer. Okay, so I'm gonna have to watch my pin on that one, and I'm not gonna put a pin on that one. Same thing with this. Again, if you have one of those washable glue sticks, which I do not have, this is a good time to use it. That one's a little too small. Okay, so what is everybody working on tonight? I'll flip that over. Okay, I'll move that to the side. And let me get out my rotating mat here. Hey, Laura. Well, we shall see, Laura. Once I get the pieces cut out, I think it's going to go by real quick. I'm hoping. And Sandy's saying pretty colors. Well, thank you, Sandy. And trying to stay inside today, packing up fabric in some of the kitchen. Oh, I know that feeling, Jackie. Okay. So Suzanne Taylor is asking, is the seam allowance included in the templates? Yes, it is. Let me hold up one of them. Okay, so there is a solid line here. And there was a dotted line here before I cut the template out. So this solid line kind of represents where the seam is going to be. Okay, let me use this ruler. And let me just do a rough cut right there to get that off. You know what, let me rough cut it right here as well so I can trim that. Let's start with the big piece here. So move that, turn it around. Trim that off, and then I will go on this end, trim that off. Then I will take those little notches off. There's one here. And then last one is this little notch here. Trim that and trim that. Okay, so I'm going to keep these pieces pinned to each other, and the rest of this is just, well, I might throw, yeah, I guess I could use this in a crumb bin, so I'll throw that to the side there. Now, this teeny tiny little thing, okay, I'm gonna just have to be careful that I don't shift the paper. Where's the 1/4 inch mark? There it is. So I will trim this edge, lift it up ever so carefully, put it back down right there. That's good enough. Trim that. And we'll take this side there, trim that. And I did not cut that right, so let me do it again. That's a miscut there. There we go. Got it. And so I will trim that and trim that notch off. And we'll trim that and that. And then I guess I can pin it now. I didn't want to pin it before because I knew the pin was going to be in the way of, whoops, of the rotary cutter. And we'll take the last one. I just want to make it flat as I can get it. And we will push the pin a little bit out of the way of the path of the rotary cutter. There. And I didn't cut this side. Thought I did. That. And then I will trim that corner. Whoops. Then we will trim there and there. So those are my gray pieces. Whoops, that fell off. So let me do some rough cutting here. I think I can squeeze that in there. And I will rough cut that. And then rough cut it one more time here. Okay. And let me start this time with the small piece, and I am gonna trim it there. Trying not to shift the paper. Trim it there. Whoop, shifted. Okay. Not a problem. I can just line up the template along with the cut edges that I did. And trim that. Then I'll just hold it with my fingers and trim there, just to get the notches there. And turn it around, and we'll get that one. Whoops. That one. And last one there. Grab a pin and just poke it through. If the pin will go through, there's that. Next one. Whoops. And push the pin out of the way. And do that. Then we will put there and there. Push and cut that. Whoops. Cut there and cut there. Now we got that piece. And the last bit, which is this guy. There. cutting off there. So, by the way, latest news here in Southern Nevada. Oh, I almost said Southern California. Southern Nevada. For those of you that do know, the Tropicana Hotel is no longer. They actually demolished it earlier this morning to make way for a new baseball stadium that's coming in. So they had like this whole event early this morning in which they they made it a whole festival, a whole ceremony. Of course, it was at 2 a.m. when it happened. Don't ask me why they chose such an odd time. Probably because of the traffic, is my guess. But yeah, Tropicana, no longer there. Yep, so they actually imploded the whole building. Which again is why they made it a whole festive thing. Okay, where's my picture? Because now I need it. So, let's see. So 61 goes like that. 61R. Okay, wait, 61 was like this. No, that's not right. 61R, okay, then 61 was like this. 61 was like that, and then 61R like that. 62R is this? No, this is regular 62, so this is 62R. That one like that. Then this one goes like that. And then 63R was here, and 63 there. Okay. Let me catch up on some comments before I start sewing. Hey Remo, glad you made it here tonight. Seema Lounge, yeah, I did answer that. So Barb McKinley says she's working on a 1,000-piece puzzle. Okay, wow, 1,000 pieces. How long is that going to take you, Barbara? Remo J says changing summer clothes to fall. And Kimber says I'm relaxing in my recliner. I finished a quilt today though. Got all the binding sewn on, and it's for the youngest grandson. Ooh, okay, that's great to hear, Kim. And Linda Fugate, hello Linda. She says she worked on a faux suede jacket, and so now just relaxing. Okay. And okay, now it's not letting me go up and down. There it is. Okay, so here is the question of the video. What is your go-to when you need a block or when you need to just use up scraps? What is your go-to block? That's something I've been trying to figure out myself, because I'm getting a little bit bored just sewing the same 4 patches and 9 patches and whatever. So I need ideas on what I can do. This is what I've been actually creating with just, it's a 9 patch, but then made up of 4 patches. And well, I'm tired of making Irish chain blocks. So give me some ideas, people. That's what I'm shopping for. Jackie says she's just chilling, trying to decide how many sewing machines I really need to keep. I have 3 working machines and 1 embroidery machine, all for different things, waiting on another part for my big singer. You need all of them, Jackie. No doubt about it. You need all of them. Just don't even try and fight the urge for that. Kimber says, I cleaned out my little deep freeze, found some tomatoes, so thawed them out and canned in jars yesterday. I got 5.5 pints. Woo, okay. What do you call that? Not marsala. Tomato soup. Okay, Donna Hoskins is asking, question, if or when downloading the templates, can they be resized for a larger block, 10 or 12? You would have to know how to use Adobe, like Adobe Illustrator or some kind of design graphics software. Out of the box, it comes preset. Now, of course, if you have a copier or if your office, you know, you can use a Xerox machine and just enlarge each of the template, but out of the box, no. There is no way to enlarge the pieces. You would have to use some kind of like design graphic software or just use a copier to actually enlarge it or enlarge each of these template pieces. Hello, Damali J. And she says her favorite scrappy block is a 9-patch or 4-patch. Okay. Kimber says she also found 2 half-gallon bags of chicken broth. So one day next week I will make chicken and noodles. We'll save some for me, Kim. Kimber is now, guess who Nancy says next time, label and number the pieces. If I had a label, I would do that, actually. Yeah. I used to use Post-its a lot and just stick it on there, but then I figured if I already have the paper templates, why not just pin it onto the fabric pieces? All right, so far on my 3rd week of the puzzle and 3/4 done. Why did I start this? That's Barb McKinley saying that, talking about a 1,000-piece puzzle. I can barely get through a 500-piece puzzle. My gosh. Suzanne Taylor says, I just sew crumbs and whatever together and make different size squares. Okay. Jim Bennett says, sewing scraps to make into 5-inch blocks, then I alternate them with whole 5-inch blocks or make wonky star blocks. Okay, there's an idea. So how I'm going to put this together? Okay, I'm going to put these pieces aside for a second because I'm going to actually sew one half together first, and then we'll sew the other half together next. So I will take one of these black pieces and I'm just going to lay it side by side like this. Take the pins off, and then just so that I can have some kind of point of reference as to how this gets sewn, I'm going to put the paper template or line that up, and hopefully this would work. This should work. So I take one of these pieces, you know, got it all mixed up already. So it was like that. I'm going to take this piece, line it up here, and sew that seam. And we're going to be making 4 of the same quadrant, so let's see if I actually laid it out right. Oh, would help to turn on the sewing machine. And see, I've been sewing these 4 patches for days, and I got a collection of them, so I need to figure out what else I can do with them. You know, I was just trying to think about different ways of using scrap pieces like this. And one thing I kind of thought about maybe just experimenting with was, you know, if I have a 4-patch, say for example, if I had a 4-patch that's like this, and then I put a solid piece of fabric, sewed, and then just made half square triangles out of it, what would that look like? Maybe we could design some. Maybe I could design something with that, but I don't know. Something to think about. Why am I? Oh, I'll put this to the side for now. Let me take the next two pieces, and we'll do the same thing. Okay, so here's the first one. I think that looks right. I'm gonna press these guys, or just finger press it open for now. Then this piece should fit right here. So it was like that. So this piece goes right there. Okay, now here's the second one that I chained in. Now before I continue, or before I sew this third piece on, I want to see how it actually looks. So I'm just going to sew up on a piece of scrap so I can get this piece off the machine. And let's see how I did. Okay. Yeah, that looks right to me, so I guess that's how it is. Although I didn't line up this block correctly, but that'll get caught in the seam allowance, so here we go. Let's start mass producing and chain stitching all of this. Jackie says I start with a 9-inch foundation paper, then add pieces wherever they fit and trim to 8.5. Sometimes I will go larger. Okay. Okay, I will deal with this later. And we shall sew this one on like that. You know, I guess in a block like this, it would be important to actually stay organized because, I mean, these are very awkward shaped pieces and it's very easy to get them turned around and mixed up. So if you are doing this block and you're using the paper templates, make sure that you have some way of keeping yourself organized with it, because again, you can turn any piece the wrong direction and then you got to start ripping again. So okay, there's number 2. Okay. Hey, Patty. How you feeling, girl? Hope everything's okay. And Jim, are you ready for the cold weather next week? Jim's response, we are trying to be. We have baseboard heat and have started to clean them out from summer dust and cat hair. Ooh. How cold is it supposed to get? Yeah, it goes like that. Wait, let me be sure. This is this way, right? Yep, so it goes like this. Okay, and when you do press these, or if you are finger pressing your seams, be careful with it because they are kind of on the bias, or at least the way I trimmed it, it is on the bias. So this one goes like that, so like this. Maybe I should have just found or looked for the paper piece pattern because it would have been maybe a little easier. That's okay. Okay, and again, I am opting to choose to press my seams open. You can press it over to one side if you so desire to. I figure it might just be easier for me to just press it open. So, okay, let's give these a quick iron. Okay, and these will go like that. So there's half of the triangle, so I can move these out of the way. And we'll take these. Oh. So now we're gonna sew this side. And again, I'm gonna do the same thing. Gonna line it up so it goes like that. Wait, something's not right. No, like that. This one goes there. And then this one goes there. So I will take, let's see, what's the best way for me to do this? I'm going to take the small one this time. And lay it on top of the middle piece there. So it was like this. And this is the final, the fourth one to the opposite end. Okay, I think my 1/4 inch was off on that piece. Let's see. Oh, not bad. Okay. What's kind of tricky about this block is that you got this angle here. And so to line up your pieces, it's a little bit tricky because you have to kind of, well, you don't have like a straight corner to line it up against, which is why those little notches on the corner actually do help out with that. So this one goes like this. Okay, that's not too bad. Okay. Wow, Kimber says the highs are in the 40s and the lows in the 30s, supposed to last a while. That is pretty darn cold. Let me get the last two of this. Oops. See, and there is the completed piece. So this is supposed to go with that. See how it's coming together now? And I'll sew this piece onto here. So this, and then we can start sewing. Wait a minute. So it goes like that. So this goes on here, like that. That is like this. So here is piece number 2. There. And the last one. And then we can start sewing the 2 halves together. Let me fix the camera. Okay, so, okay, now I can move these out of the way. So it goes like that. So we got 2 half square triangles. Now we sew the 2 halves together. So give a quick press to these. Okay. And then then I can sew the two halves together, and because I cut out the notches, all I got to do is just line up those notches and then line up the seams there too. Now I think we'll be okay. Okay, these pieces were not perfectly cut, but they're close enough, so hopefully my seam won't be too off. Let's see, Jackie says, we went through so many hurricanes while we were there, but the intensity of the storms has changed in the past few years. Wait, let me scroll back up. Where was this? Okay, so she was been watching the hurricane reports. I have friends in Daytona Beach near the ocean. Poor thing with Florida, they just get hit one right after the other. And Patty is saying, I lived in Tampa for 8 years. I still have lots of friends in the area. You know, I lived in Hawaii for 30 years, and there's only twice that we got hit by a hurricane. One of them was actually a major one. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, don't quote me on this, but if I'm not mistaken, I think Hawaii was the first state to actually get hit with a Category 4 hurricane. That was back in 1993. Hurricane Iniki, in which we thought that it was going to pass the state to the south, but then suddenly it just headed straight up north and put a direct hit on the island of Kauai. In which a lot of people that I know that lived on the island, never fully recovered from that. So because they were farmers, and they lost all their crops and they couldn't regain, or they couldn't grow anything for a while, so they just gave up the business, and that was that. Okay, there's one. Keep going. This might be one of those blocks where it's difficult to cut out the pieces, but we'll see how this all turns out, because I'm actually starting to like this. Pain in the butt to piece together, but and here is number 2. Yeah, these blocks are getting to be very wonky. There's number 2. Cat F says, I have family in Florida too. They are in the direct path. I'm worried so much loss. Well, Mother Nature's going to do what Mother Nature's going to do. So you just pray for the best. I actually do have a lot of friends in Fort Lauderdale, in which I'm not sure if Fort Lauderdale's in the direct path of of the storm. But my old company that I used to work for in Los Angeles, you know, we have an office out there and we have a major facility out there in Florida. And so I'm pretty sure that they are watching that storm carefully and they are praying that the storm somehow changes direction, which is possible. But it sort of seems like every year we have some kind of storm threat hitting that facility. Okay. Okay, this is definitely a block that we're going to need some steam action on this because this is kind of wavy here. A lot of it has to do with the fact that I cut the fabric on the bias, or it's cut on the bias. So let me just grab 2 squares and sew some of this. And I can grab this last one here. Hi, Margaret. Okay, let me scroll down a little bit now since I caught up with that. Kim Burr says, I actually do better with colder weather, easier to breathe, and I can be outside if it gets over 80. Cardiologist says I have to stay inside. Oh. Okay. That's about as flat as I'll get it, so we got our 4 quadrants. Now we sew the quadrants together, just like a 4-patch. Jackie says, if I went back, it wouldn't be near the beach. I don't blame you. Although the beaches or the coastlines usually have the nicer houses, but for those of us that are in the know, we know it's not the smartest place to be. Okay, so we can sew this quadrant. And I will put that to the side. Let's see how I did with this one. Okay, I'll take it. Not bad, but the seams don't exactly line up, but I'll take it. Now I'm gonna just finger press this one open here. And I'm gonna take this and take another one of these just so I can sew off and get this piece off. Okay, this one's a little better. So, well, I think on these two, on this half, I was actually paying attention to where the seams were landing, so, which would explain why they match up a little better on here. Okay. Again, one of the advantages of pressing your seams open is you can actually see within the seam where the two fabrics meet, so you can make sure that your needle hits that spot. Now to line it up. Okay, I think that's pretty darn good. Fort Lauderdale is south of the anticipated path. Okay, thank you for that. You're saying it looks neat. Good night, Patty. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, moment of truth. How did we do here? Ooh, not bad. Okay, it's a little off there in the center, but let's see. Let's press this out. And these fabrics are, this must be cheap fabric because it's very wavy. Well, that plus the fact of how I cut it too, but still. Okay, let's get this pressed. I'm going to put the clapper on it, let it sit for a while. Jim Bennett says, nice block, but I wouldn't want to make a whole quilt with that one block. Neither would I, Jim. So one is good enough for me. Well, unless AccuQuilt had a die where it could cut all the pieces, but no. Well, thank you, Laura. She says, love the way the block turned out. It's beautiful. And guess who Nancy says, starch it. I think I might because it's really wavy. Oh, there. Now it's flat. So there it is. Center point is not exactly 100%, but yay, it's close enough, so it's good enough for me. Can't really, well, maybe you can see it on camera, I'm not sure. Okay, Donna Hoskins says, I'm going to make this block for sure. It looks great. Well, good luck with it, Donna. Again, if you're using the templates, just make sure that you are keeping yourself organized because it is very easy to turn these, each in these individual pieces and turn them around the wrong way. And I would also take Nancy's advice about starching your fabric because this, I mean, you're cutting each of the fabric pieces at very weird angles. So a lot of bias, a lot of stretch. So make sure you do starch it if that helps. It's not absolutely necessary to, but for me it would have helped. So let's see. Okay, and I must have sewn this pretty darn good because not really removing much here. just little slivers here and there. Whoops. Little shaving pieces. All right. Well, I'm happy with how this turned out. Is it perfect? By all means, no. But it's good enough for me. Okay, so let's do a side-by-side comparison again. So here's the book's version, here's mine. Not bad. Wow, it looks good on camera. Suzanne Taylor says, I really like how the star echoes from the middle out. Oh, so it does. I never noticed it. So there's one star here in the middle, and then there's a second star. And then if we made this bigger, it'd probably echo out another star. Good catch. Let's see. Well, thank you guys. You guys are saying it's awesome, it's nice. Well, thank you. That would make a nice FPP pattern. Yeah. You know, I think if you can find it, I know there is a farmer's wife quilt that is FPP. If you can find it, I would definitely, if you want to make this block, I would definitely use that foundation paper piece pattern instead of doing these individual cutouts, because it's probably a lot easier to do, to be quite honest. I just chose to do it this way because I couldn't find the foundation piece pattern. But if you can find it and you want to do this block, it would probably be a lot easier. Let's see. Elizabeth Collins says, well done. I really like that you chat while you're sewing. It's a talent for sure. It takes practice, Elizabeth. But because sometimes you got to think of what you're doing and then you got to talk. So if you're a person like me who thinks out loud, no problem. But thank you. Nancy says, looks great from here. Well, thank you, Nancy. Suzanne Taylor's, okay, I think I read that one. Wow, this other star just popped out at me. Doesn't it? Yeah, I didn't actually notice it until Suzanne pointed it out, that it does kind of echo out. So, yeah. Hello, Miss Katie. Donna Hoskins is asking, what was the number of the block? It's block number 59, called Night and Day. Okay. Remo J is asking, is that batiks? I don't believe it is. It doesn't. It certainly does not feel like a batik. I know this is just basic grunge fabric, but it sort of feels. It's cotton, definitely cotton, but it's kind of like a cheaper quality cotton. I just got these two fabrics in like a scrap swap. So I just dug into my scrap bins of whatever fabrics I had and then just chose these two. But it's definitely not a batik, because it just doesn't have that tight woven feel. It looks like it though, I will say that. Hey, Debbie. And And Damali J saying, nice block. Thank you, Damali. How many more blocks do you plan on making for your quilt? I need a total for the lap size quilt. I need a total of 50, 51 or 52. So I got less than 20 more to make. The last time I counted, I think I'm at 30 or 31. I'm not sure. All right, guys, so this is night and day. Not impossible to do. Just take your time at it. And again, you can download the templates and cut your individual pieces. In which you saw me, it's not impossible to do. You do have to kind of fiddle around with how the block gets laid out, or how each of the quadrants get laid out, and how the pieces, individual pieces, kind of fit together. Or if you can find where the FPP pattern is, I'm pretty sure somebody has it online somewhere. That might be a better option to do. Okay, but here it is, block number 59, night and day. So let's see. I'm not sure what my next block might be. Might be this one actually. But now I'm just trying to choose the blocks that are a little bit more difficult to do. We did that one, and not this. Trying to choose blocks that require me to use these paper pieces. And because like on a block like this, you can kind of figure out how to put it together. So I'm trying to avoid those on a live stream, but choosing more of the complicating blocks such as this, so that if you want to make this quilt, hopefully the mistakes that I make on live can help you avoid those things. Okay, so yeah, there it is. All right, guys, just want to say thank you for joining me here tonight. We're going to wrap it up a little bit over an hour or so. I try to keep these to an hour, but sometimes the project just takes me a little bit longer to do. So had I cut these pieces, probably would have been an hour, but all right. So if there is, let's see, Diane Watson says Eleanor Burns has a full book and ruler for night and day. Oh, does she? Okay, I did not know that. I know Quilt in a Day was doing the Farmer's Wife quilt as like a sew along, in which they gave you, or they created patterns for each of the blocks. I don't know how many blocks they did, if they did all 100 and whatever, because there's over 100 blocks. So I don't know if they created a pattern for each one of these blocks, but I know they were doing it as a series. So yeah, that could be an option too. All right, guys, that is it for tonight. Again, just as a reminder, whoa, we got fabric on the ground. Just as a reminder, we have the Zoom coming up this Saturday from 12 to 4 Pacific Standard Time. I will be sending out an email reminder for that. And again, if you want to join in on that Zoom call, just send me an email at treasureheartcreations@gmail.com, and I can send you that information. And don't forget to check out Russ from Quilt Meets World. He's the latest installment in the 2024 Sobeka Traveling Quilt. And next month is my month, so I have to get going on that. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me here tonight. Hope you guys learned something, or maybe just enjoyed the chat and just watching me. All right, so that is it for tonight. Have a great rest of the week, and you all know what we're going to say, so let's all say it together. Let's all get out there, and let's all create something. Mwah. Bye for now.